gentlemen, help me welcome your host to the podium of leadership, Dr. Victor Udoh.
Thank you. You might be seated. Welcome to the podium of leadership. Podium of leadership is a place to be. If you want to think, if you want to renew your mind, if you want to ensure that we take this state to the next level, we think right, we move away from a Took syndrome, we move away from what they used to call the optimistic society, and make sure we bring in continuation and join our hands and build and make this state the greatest that it can be. The podium of leadership is a place for you to be. So, we've been blessed with two of our best professors. Foreign trained, Nigerian engaged. They know what is going on outside. They know what is going on inside. And they have been preparing and producing employable graduates. And we thank God for them that they are Akwa Ibomites. They've been there. They've started businesses. And those businesses are still running in foreign lands. I'm sure they're sitting here receiving their dividend of you guys talk about dividend of democracy. This one is dividend of business, dividend of investment. And it's time, seriously. To me, I think this dividend of democracy thing is actually a distraction. Dividend is something we really get out of business. Dividend that is paid out of business is solid cash. It's naira. When someone say my dividend check, it's money. It's not social stuff. It's not a landing fee. It's not Zwanofok. It's real money in your pocket. And that continues to come. And that's why when we talk about sustaining, we are serious. Because the GEs that we have today, Prof told us he worked for IBM. IBM have been there for a very long time. International Business Machines. How many of you know that was what IBM stands for? International Business Machines. They've been there for years. So why can't we have an Akwa Ibom Power? Being a company that people will put money and get dividend. That's what sustainability is all about. That's what consolidation and continuity is all about. And we have these two profs that have taught a lot of people. They've done a lot at the business school, right here. The Faculty of Business in the University of Uyo. And you guys call it the Great University of Uyo. So I give it up to you. So we've been talking on establishing, developing, and sustaining business. In the last program, we talked about the importance of insurance. We talked about the importance of employability. And that's why we deviated a little bit and started delving into curriculum, the implications of you making sure you choose the right courses, especially on the elective courses. You are the one that knows what you want to be. Your parent does not know. Your parent might force you and want you to be a lawyer because he's a lawyer, or be a doctor because he's a doctor. But you know where your strength is. It's better for you to prepare yourself so that if job comes in accountancy, you can go. If job comes in insurance, you can go. If job comes in investment bank, you can also go. You are the one that decide your employability. The university is not going to put courses in your mouth. And he also says something about listening to your counselor. I got to tell you, because I like to use myself as an example. There were some courses I skipped or didn't do very well. Till today, they still come back to haunt me. Because if you don't know Calculus 1, you're not going to be able to do Calculus 3. You've got to do Calculus 1 very well to be able to do Calculus 3. So if you skip Calculus 1, and then you have to do Calculus 3 to pass, and then have to do differential equation, you are in trouble. So don't skip your classes. It might be a difficult class, but stick it through. So today we are going to wrap up on all that discussions. So we like today's question to be centered on really sustain. How can you people learn from these gurus so that tomorrow you can come here and give a testimony of what you did, what you learned from them, and how you change your life, change your village, change Akwa Ibom around. Let's give it back to them again.
Do you want to see beyond your vision? Do you want to hear what other people think about leadership? Do you need a reshaping of your mindset and mentorship? Then tune in to the Podium of Leadership, The Pole with Victor Udoh, showing on AKBC Channel 45 every Monday by 12:30 p.m. and on NTA Channel 12 Uyo every Thursday by 10 p.m. Tune to the poll on Planet FM on Wednesdays by 3 p.m. and on AKBC Radio on Saturdays by 1:30 p.m. You can be a guest on this program. You can also advertise your products, goods and services or sponsor the program by calling our office line 0902 300 7299. That is 0902 300 7299. Visit our website on www.thepool.com.ng. Like our page on facebook.com/The Podium of Leadership or follow us on our Twitter handle at The Poll with Victor. The Podium of Leadership do show. Join us.
So what are the questions? Please raise your hands and let's talk with the prof.
I see many students graduating and no job. And we know that government can do everything. So my question is, what can our coach, our mentoring do so that we could have Akwa Ibom as a business state? We could have Akwa Ibom so that people can come back home. Most of them cry. As even ordinary matches industry, we don't have it. For you to be a graduate and the best thing is to go to Lagos, Port Harcourt to get a job, then we're not helping the state. So I want our mentors, our coach, and that to ignite fire in us, to believe in ourselves, that we must no longer go with our CV to work under an Igbo man in a shop, a graduate, and they are paying 15,000 as a set board. So I want our coach, our mentoring, to ignite fire in us, that between now and 3-4 years, let people hear about something new from Akwa Ibom that will make others in Lagos to return back to Akwa Ibom.
So I almost let the church say.
All right. Thank you so much, Pastor. I almost choked when you were speaking. It gives cause for concern, particularly when you have graduates of business becoming PAs, graduates of business getting involved in some messy job that don't make no sense. What can we do? What have we done in the past? A few years back, I was the director of the Center for Entrepreneurial Development at the University of Uyo. What we did at that center was first to let the state know that we exist. We decided to invite 2 people per village, and there are so many villages in Akwa Ibom. Took us 3 very good days to flood that campus with people. And you can imagine, if you want people from the villages, you would have different costumes on campus. Chiefs, assistant chiefs, those in whatever kind of dressing showed up. And all we did was to tell them that wherever you are, you can start a business. And the business you already do, we can help you build on that and expand that business. They were excited, but the one thing they never heard was government giving them money to start the business. So when we ended up by telling them, well, come back to the center after this 1 day, remember, 1 day seminar. Come back to the center, then we can show you how to develop a business plan, how you can source for money, how you can actually get people to work for you. I'm not sure there's any business in this world that can survive on the proprietor alone working. It doesn't. If you do that, you have a tiny little business that will collapse the day you die. So what we do is teach people how to move away from being a small business owner to becoming an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur would sit back here, set up his own business, pick up his phone, catch a flight to Kano, and watch Akwa United play against Kano Pillars. His business is running. Is it by magic? The greatest resources a business has is the human beings working there. And make no mistake about it, not every graduate of business that will own a business. There are leaders and there are followers. I have known many leaders in Akwa Ibom State. I only discovered Dr. Victor today as a leader because he has led us here. So you see, since we are not going to have everybody become a businessman or woman for that matter, you would have those that want to work for you. But for those of us that God, well, I'm sure it's God that gives the blessing to everyone else. If you've been blessed by God to start a business, do it right the first time. How do you do it right? First, you must think. Don't think about the profit. Think about what you want to put on offer. Pastor mentioned toothpick or matches. Do we have a need for matches? Yes. Do you think so?
Yes.
How do you know? Oh, you do? When was the last time you looked for matches in your house and couldn't find it? You did? Did you go to the shop next door? Did you find it? Yes. They were closed, right? Yeah. So is that enough to stimulate your thinking about creating a shop for matches?
Yes, sir.
If it doesn't do, something is wrong with you. So first, think of what you are going to offer. Product or service. Think about graduates. I know about Lagos. Graduates that queue up for job interview. Very hungry. Don't find what to eat around Victoria Island. And then start moving around to buy bole. You know what bole is? Yes. Okay. That's right. And then, but that's not good enough. So the young lady left that interview facility, went home and said, I am not alone. There's so many other people looking for food to eat while waiting for interview. What did she do? Buy 1 quarter bag of rice, prepared it, bought takeaway packs, and then started looking for where you have interview queues. And guess what? A huge restaurant. Because there was a challenge. And she responded. And if you ever studied business or social science, you would have heard the name Andrew Toynbee. He had a theory of challenge and response. Once you had challenged, you must respond. And respond in a manner strong enough to change your situation. If you felt strongly about the matches you could not get in your area, say to yourself, I'm going to start a matches factory. And then once you do that, go to the University of Uyo, look for a place called Center for Entrepreneurial Development. They will coach you. They will help you work on your business plan. You take it on from there.
The services at the center free.
That is the problem I have with Nigeria. That is precisely my problem. I am coming to speak at the facility and you're asking me, is it free? Sir, at the University of Pennsylvania, where you charge where you charge the fee? The answer is yes.
And if it is free, you probably won't value it.
Why would you value it? Why would you value it? I know at Pan-African University, I'm an associate in their Center for Enterprise Development. They charge as much as 500,000 for a 3-week program. 3 weeks. 500,000 naira. And guess what? Akwa Ibomites living in Uyo fly from here with the risk of flying to go to Lagos every weekend. The 3 weeks is not Monday to Friday for 3 weeks. No, it's every weekend over a 3-week entire period, which means you would have been going to Lagos for more than 25 weeks every weekend. And somebody, I know of 2 people that left Uyo for Lagos every weekend.
And then they pay fee.
They pay 500,000.
And we want it free at New York, the great New York.
You can't have it free, sir.
As our do show, that's the second thing. You talk about the private
My institute?
Your institute.
Yes.
I will work with you so that we can have the person from the entrepreneur
Sure.
come to this show and tell people.
Sure.
No, because people need to know.
Sure.
And I'm 100% in agreement with you. If something is free, people don't appreciate
You don't.
it. But if you pay for it, you will value it more.
Those from the village, all the villages paid 2,500 for 1 day's appearance. Were they happy with it? Very, very happy. Exceptionally happy. Trouble is, they fought over certificates. Just give me that certificate, let me put it in my house, that I went to the University of Uyo for 1 day. You don't need that as a business person.
Yeah.
I tell so many people that over the years that I had to work while schooling in the US. I worked for so many companies, including Black Entertainment Television. I was an accountant there. Chevy Chase Bank, I was.
BET.
Yes, Chevy Chase Bank, I was the vice president for home equity facilities. All of those things. But what I do know, they wanted my skills more than my certificates.
Yep.
For my BET interview, nobody asked me to present a piece of paper. They simply asked me, "Are you an accountant?" And I said, "Yes." "What level?" And I said, "Above the level of chief accountant." They said, "Okay, walk into that room. The computer is there. Turn it on. Your exam is on there." I showed my skills, and in 5 minutes, out of the exam room, the result was ready with the receptionist. The receptionist was the one that showed me my result and said, "John, you've done well. When do you want to start?" And I said, "Yesterday." Yes. So there is more about skill.
Yes.
But here, what are we looking for? That's right. That's our problem, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, let me, if we go back to the questions with the state of our things in psychology, I think the pastor alluded that most Akwa Ibomites seem to gravitate more towards being recruited or working for someone. And they would like to see us, start businesses, be entrepreneurial and all that. Let me kind of handle that a little carefully. We need more people to start businesses. Let me tell you, there's no nation in the world, none, that has grown by working for the government, but they grow by starting businesses. And once they saturate that market, they move to somewhere else and continue. That's how nations grow economically. However, the danger we sometimes run into, we will say, students, you should start being entrepreneurial. Some of us take it to the extreme. We educate you and you get educated in the demand and supply, accounting, marketing, and you want to jump right away and start a business. Unfortunately, there's a gap. You are taking a risk, which probably you don't have the money. You're going to borrow money either from your parents or from your own savings or from a bank. And when you fail the first time, it's going to affect you psychologically a whole lot. You might not even want to start another business. And that we try to avoid. If you look at the traditional way of technicians, they go to apprenticeship. One thing we've not been able to do very well is to match you as an apprentice while you're in school. Usually they call it internship. In the 70s, we were doing it very well. And why was internship working is because we had businesses. We can send students. They go and spend 3 months understudying. And when they come back, they come out with some in the
Prof,
knowledge. Yeah.
you know, the Igbos do that very well.
I was coming to that. Yeah, I was exactly coming to that. So, whenever the economy gets bad, you have a downturn. Things change. That's why I say everything is dynamic. But in every turn of the economy, there's an opportunity. So when the economy gets bad, most businesses will say, we don't have enough money for internship, or you're going to do it free. We won't pay you. But it's difficult for a student to leave his class or her class, go to somewhere, dress neat, while you're working in the bank and come back to your class when you don't get any compensation. You know, it's sort of difficult thing to internalize. So the banks will deal with those who can help them in the downturn to produce money quick. You know, full-time employees, and they give them targets, do this, do this, do this. However, let me go to the point. Whatever you can do to learn the skill, the real skill, beyond the classroom, and somebody else pays for it, you must focus that time and learn it very well. Because if you want to be an entrepreneur, that is the price you would have paid in failure. Somebody is paying for you free, and you learn from the person. My own son, let me give you a real example. My son is a great finance student. He's doing his MBA. Had an internship with a very powerful manufacturing firm. And they look at his grades. His grades were great, ahead of everybody. But he had a very lousy habit of waking up late. So he gets to the place late. And he gets to the place and he waits for the manager to tell him what to do. And they observe all those things. After the 6 months internship, they retain most people, they didn't retain him. And he could understand, and I laughed. I said, I knew that you were probably going to have problems. But the reason is, he did not show any commitment or leadership skills that he was ready to take the opportunity. People look at that. And most of the employers who train you, either a train internship or you're under train, when they find out that you're very good and you want to break out, in fact, they're willing to bring you in as a partner. You know, partnership and employee is two different things. You become a profit-sharing partner, which means they say, okay, you get 20%, I get 80, or get 40 or something like that. But you want, whenever you have that opportunity to learn through somebody else's expense, take advantage of it. When you leave, you will see how important that internship or mentoring process is, which is something, if you go to the shops owned by Igbos, I've seen one, I go to the shop often, they will be apprenticed for 2, 3 years, 4 years, and then they'll go and establish and become very successful. It's because of the discipline and the focus that translate into their own success. So, as much as we want you guys to really move away from being this officer or PA or something, we want you to take it very seriously. As a businessman, you are everything, jack of all trades. Your opening officer will not show up at 6 o'clock. He or she will call you at 6:30 and say, I'm sick. So you must be there to open the shop. Customers come in, that shop's supposed to be open at 6. They are waiting at 5:59. The shop is not open, they wait for 10 minutes. When they leave, they won't come back. And in fact, I've experienced that. I went to one of the restaurants here. They have a sign, they open at 8. I said, let me get a cup of coffee, get to work. And I went there around 10, and they're still cleaning the counter. And till today, I never went back there. I mean, I will go for lunch or something, but not for breakfast. Somebody was supposed to be open at 9 or 8. At 10 o'clock, the place, because somebody didn't show up on time. So business is something that you have to be committed. Every 1 penny investment, not necessarily the one you borrow from bank, your time. Professor Moore mentioned it. There's something called opportunity cost. You work, you invest money. That is not only the cost. You're not paying yourself. You might go for 3 years without drawing a salary. That is part of your investment. So if you insure the business, make sure you insure that opportunity cost too. The business that you see in your books might be 10 million. But your salary that you have not been able to pull out of that business might be another 5 million. You must insure that business for 15 million. Because there's a cost. If you were working for someone, you would have been paid. And that is sometimes we don't capture it. So, the summary of this is, as much as we really want to run individual business, that's the only way we will grow. We can never grow by being employed by somebody. Ask yourself one question. How many millionaires do you know in the world that became a millionaire, a real millionaire, by being an employee to somebody?
I know one.
So who is that?
That's okay.
So, to do that, you must be ready. It's the only one he knew. He doesn't So, it's one in 1, 2, 5 billion. To make money, you have to be innovative and take risks. And we encourage Akwa Ibom clearly to do that. That's the only way.
I just want to add a little bit. You know, the Igbo internship program, fantastic. But who do they train?
Their brothers.
Fresh from elementary school, just enough to be able to read and to add. Maybe just read, but they must be able to calculate, be able to add and subtract. How much? What is my change? They must be able to do that. They become interns. Once they're done, over a 5-year period, they are actually set up by the owner of the business. So it's pretty much like a continuation of that business, so that they keep pushing them, keep mentoring them, keep helping them. There are also the category that are able to read JS3, SS3. They also get into different levels of internship. But make no mistake about it. If you ever went to the University of New York, Akwa Ibom State University, Rickman University, and end up as an intern in having to sell for somebody in order to be able to start selling, you failed. Why did you go to the university? Why did you waste all that time? You have the power of communication. You have the power of thinking. You may not know that. While in the university, your thinking ability changes. And so at this point, you can recognize your challenges. And like I just said, if you have a challenge, you must respond to it. At the Center for Business Studies, my center, or Center for Entrepreneurial Development, all you need to do is walk in there and say to somebody, I want to start a bakery. They'll ask you to put down what you want, where you want to have it located, and all of that. Put that down. They begin to ask you simple questions. I have experienced this several times. Somebody walks up to me and said, you are director of Center of Entrepreneurship. I say, yes. It's okay. Please, can you help me set up a business? I said, sure, I will. So why can't you start it without me? And I said, if only I had 100,000. So I would turn around and say, all you wanted 100,000? I said, sure. It's okay, I'll give that to you. Not a problem. Sit down. I'll give you 100,000 naira. Offer him a drink. When he is seated, what is going through his mind? God has blessed this day. I'm going to get 100,000 naira, isn't it? But then I'll ask 2 or 3 questions. He'll wake up, give me a good smile, thank me, and walk out of the door. When he walks out, is how stupid could I have been? Because when I ask you, how are you going to use the 100,000? Totally unprepared. Do you know how he says it? Maybe I'll buy Gary. Maybe. Right? And you now say, what would be the cost of the shop? Do you want to have an open shade at Agbaranda Market? No. So what will the cost of the shop be? I am not sure. I think they charge about 2,000 now. Is the man ready?
No.
He's not ready. So the question is, which one comes first? The money or the idea? So bring the idea, use whatever resources you got from your classroom, look for a mentor. All over town, there are mentors. If you can't find one today, if you can't even remember Center for Entrepreneurial Development at the University of Uyo, remember the office of the Dean, Faculty of Business. That center is in the faculty. He will put you through. Because that is how we can, as a people. And the pastor can tell. Until you hear, you don't know. Philip asked the Ethiopian eunuch. Let me try and be a pastor today as well. Asked the Ethiopian eunuch, you are reading Isaiah. Do you understand? And he said, how will I understand if I have not been taught? Today, don't assume. Be creative enough to know what you're looking for, but find a mentor. Locate a mentor. And then, again, remember this. They keep telling us, think small and grow. Yes, my session to you today is think big. You can start small, but think big. And then gradually, you will fall, rise up, fall again, keep rising. If you doubt me, ask Dangote to tell you a story. Thank you.
Do you want to see beyond your vision? Do you want to hear what other people think about leadership? Do you need a reshaping of your mindset and mentorship? Then tune in to the Podium of Leadership, The Pole with Victor Udo, showing on AKBC Channel 45 every Monday by 12:30 p.m. and on NTA Channel 12 Uyo every Thursday by 10 p.m. Tune to The Pole on Planet FM on Wednesdays by 3 p.m. and on AKBC Radio on Saturdays by 1:30 p.m. You can be a guest on this program. You can also advertise your products, goods and services, or sponsor the program by calling our office line 0902 300 7299. That is 0902 300 7299. Visit our website on www.thepole.com.ng. Like our page on facebook.com/The Podium of Leadership, or follow us on our Twitter handle at The Pole with Victor. The Podium of Leadership do show. Join us.
So let me take your question.
Thank you, Doctor. My question is, I have a business.
What type of business?
It's a medicated soup business.
Excellent.
So
Manufacturing.
Yes.
You manufacture them?
No, I buy them from the company.
Okay, you.
Okay.
And I have 4 people which I employ.
Let's give it up. That's what we are talking about.
The challenge I'm facing, I start with small capital, but as soon as I'm going invisible. Then I've been going to microfinance bank in Akwa States. The one in Uyo, the one I know. I made friends to tell them where they can give me, where I can get money to expand the business. I wanted to use Boss to expand the business. Even the people that are working with me, they have been giving me an idea. They have been like, come.
So what's your question?
So the question is, where can I get more capital to invest?
Excellent. Good question. Good question. Okay. Next, actually, you ask. Anybody from this side? Okay, no.
Thank you, Doctor. This Doctor, my question is, I'm into agriculture. I have a plantation, pineapple plantation, and also plantain plantation. Now, Doctor, I've moved to a level of selling those products out.
Where's your farm?
At Mbaleni.
How many stands of?
I have like 3,000 stands of pineapple.
Plantain, how many?
Plantain should be like 300 mixed with banana.
Are they co-located?
Yeah, I separate them, but they are at the same region.
Is it one farm or 2 different farms?
The large farm is a family inherited farm.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I'm trying to screen this, so he said, look, you know why I'm doing that? Someone came here to us in this platform and said we should give him 70,000 naira that he was going to do a plantation. We gave 70,000. Have you ever heard from him again?
No! My question is, sir, if I want to insure my shop now.
Yeah. Shop or farm?
Okay, my farm first.
You have a shop also?
I have a shop where I sell those products.
Wow.
When I bring them out. And I also buy other fruits that I don't have. So
keep it up to him. You want to have the insurance back so that your pineapple will not get spoiled or things like
and
that?
Also the shop, because I also have perishable items there. If they get spoiled, how do I ensure that?
So that's that's a very good question. Any other practical question? Practical question. Someone has not asked question. Okay.
It's a books business. Book
sales.
Marketing, yes. Book sales. I love to call it books marketing because it's all encompassing. It's meant to be based in the school, and it is based in the school at the University of Uyo. Textbooks, academic books.
Have any of you ever done use books? Because
I know. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I've been through that as well. But at the moment, it is focused on new books.
Because I'm giving you an idea. The students that are passing out, if you can buy their books, then put a little premium on it, you make money.
Well, that's an idea to explore. But the new books is what I'm focused on.
So what's your question?
The question is how to get
more money
to expand on it.
Okay.
That has been the challenge.
Okay, so we've had 2 or 3 questions about how to get more money to expand business and how to ensure your commodity against spoiling. What have I missed? Succession plan. Prof, please. Any of you can do.
Let me take a couple and then we'll share it because we have very limited time. So I'm going to be very precise. First, the gentleman who says that he would like to know what he is required to start a bank. The first reference point is you must get to Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, and they will tell you how to register the business. It's pretty expensive. But if it's a new business, I would not even advise you to jump to that level because a lot of money is involved at that startup capital. Now, let me just take part of the general raising additional capital. Let's take a business, the 3 critical stages in the life of a business: startup, expansion, and managing decline. All of them pose different challenges. Startup is when you're starting from the scratch. So you must need a very well detailed plan to convince any lender to give you that money because it's a very high risk. What we mean, almost everything you do is projection because we don't have history. You say, my friend did it, I saw they're successful, I want to do it. So you must find out the space, how many people, the machines, how much time you will need, and all those are projection. And take it to a bank. Let's assume a bank, and the bank will look at it and study it very carefully because they're risking something that don't have a history. You have not been putting money in their bank account so that they will know that you've been doing well. So that is risk capital or venture capital. There's a set of people who give those kind of loans. Not every bank. Microfinance bank might be a good place because sometimes the government tries to stimulate new businesses by setting aside certain amount of money and say, give it to new businesses. So microfinance bank, what they're doing is they're not taking all the risks. They're sharing it with the government. The government can say, okay, give them this loan at 4%. It probably costs the government 8%, but they were going to take a risk on you. But they would ask the microfinance bank to make sure they screen you very well so that you can return this capital and then they can use it to help somebody else. Expansion, you're already growing, your business is growing, but you need more money to get a larger market share. That is a little bit easier because now you can show the financier that this is what I've been doing. This is the potential. This potential will bring in this additional money. It's much easier to get money to expand, especially when you have a progressive record. And then the third one, and you can go to the bank, you can go to microfinance. Problem with microfinance bank is they have a limit on how much they can give you. 50,000, 5 million, 1 million. It's not a whole lot. So sometimes you have to go to commercial banks or some special banks like industrial bank supported by the government. And the third one, which we've not mentioned, but is worthwhile to know. Sometimes you've grown so much that when you succeed, you will attract other businesses into that same business. When other businesses come in, they will take down your market share and then they will drag down your profit. How do you pull up yourself again and be on a positive? You have to be innovative. Marketing, you package your stuff differently, you get into commercial, advertisement, bonanzas and all those things. And those, again, you're looking for money, move from our marketing to, stay up your profit pattern. And usually to do that, you might have to draw on your past profit. Usually, companies will not give you money, banks or financiers or financial intermediaries won't give you all the money to do that. You must be able to invest from your past profit into that turnaround strategy and also get some money from the bank. And I think some money probably has some additional tips on how to manage.
Thanks, Prof. I think we missed out on the guy's succession plan.
And the insurance,
The guy that leads to insurance, yes. Who would you want to pass over your business to? I'm not asking you directly. I'm asking all of us. Obviously, that has to be done before you even start the business. But how do you pass over the business? Lift the house and give to somebody? No. It is on paper. You simply say, in the event of my passing, this is my partner. Or, why don't you take it away from a sole proprietorship? Because that's just you. Get into a partnership. You can't trust your friend enough to become your partner. Make it a limited liability company. Bring in other people to join you. So if 1 out of 4 is gone, is the business dead? No. So if it's a sole proprietorship, you must name your successor, but most times in your will. If it's a partnership, then your partner continues the business. But if it's a limited liability company, you are only taking a tiny proportion of that business. So if you leave, other members of the team take part of your shares and distribute amongst themselves. That is the only way you can ensure succession. Your child comes in and says, my father, you were producing tires. What am I supposed to do that for? My son studied pharmacology, has a PhD, and one day he went into a shop in England to buy a fine pair of suits. He didn't find one very good pair of suits. You know what he did? He decided to quit pharmacology to go and set up a suit design factory, and where he churns out suits for people of a particular size and height. Is he making it big? Of course, all over the world, he's selling his suits. What has pharmacology got to do with designing suits?
Maybe you forced him to do pharmacology.
No, I didn't. I did not. I didn't even know when it started. But you see, the idea is he chose to do that, but with a number of friends. So they formed a limited liability company. All right, let me quickly go to the insurance guy. I can see what you're thinking about. You keep a bag or a basket of oranges together for a week, and before you know it, they begin to decompose. And you want to pass that over to the insurance company, they won't take it. But having said that, there is agro insurance programs. You walk up to any of the insurance companies, particularly the Nikon insurance. Not Nikon. The other one was called ICO. No, ICO insurance. ICO. I tried, I think so. They take agri insurance seriously. You go make any inquiries from any of the insurance companies, they would always give you products that match every need. In this instance, there's agri insurance. They'll look at it, but the premium for insurance products is rather high. Is it worth it? I am not sure they will insure against damage arising from natural decay. No, they will insure against your harvesting Usually you harvest oranges during the summer, isn't it? And the drought was so bad that the oranges never sprouted, so you had no oranges. The insurance company will pay for that. Because remember, everyone contributes to the insurance basket. And not every farmer will have that problem. And that is why the richest financial intermediary is the insurance company. They make more money than they spend. But for us here, I will advise you, go ahead and insure your business. Be a little careful about expanding it. Because expanding a business, like Prof just mentioned, the moment everyone realizes, I don't know if you know it, when they started selling recharge cards along the streets, I don't know about your street, 10 years ago, virtually every house had a small umbrella. But gradually, they begin to do what? Fade away because the margins thin out. And so the only few that survive stay in there because it's just about enough to keep them going. The bookseller. Do you want to expand because you can't have enough books to sell? Or because the margin is not strong enough? And if the latter is the case, do you want to survive as the business owner on a bank facility? That would be improper. But I know that if you're selling new books, and for that matter, used books as well, I doubt very much. You see, you're looking at the US right now, where everyone takes care of everything, right? I have so many used books. By the way, I used to also sell books as well. Because I collected a number of books in the US, and I thought to myself, what am I doing with them? I got so many volumes from Akwa Ibom people in the US for the University of Uyo. And after I was done with that, they kept sending books to my house.
And we do get to sell used books from the US as well.
That's right.
From foreign countries.
That's right.
And they are better than the ones here.
But the other thing I was actually suggesting to you, the people that are graduating.
That's where I'm coming from. That's where I'm coming from.
Yes.
But have you ever seen one book from a Nigerian student, the one that he used for what? Let me ask you directly. Did you see your own book? If I ask you to bring your used book, what condition is it in?
I keep them very good.
I hear you. I hear you.
Very few will keep them well.
Very, very few would
Just
keep
like
it.
cars.
That's right. Yes.
All right. Let's give it up to the props. Let me also add to the commodity guy. And this is a big problem in Nigeria about products, oranges, bananas. One of the things I was just thinking, and it's worth for you to consider, if you do a proper marketing, who are your buyers? You have 3,000 stands. You might be able to get people that will buy those things ahead of time. You sign into contract with them, and you deliver it to them when they need it. And by the time you plant the pineapple, you already have customers who are going to buy it. And that's when it really becomes a business, not an afterthought. So you don't really have to go and take an insurance policy. You can develop that risk management on how you are going to sell. That's how commodity are normally traded. People make sure they do what is called future. It doesn't have to be sophisticated. It doesn't have to be in Wall Street. It's just a matter of going to Emgene and say, how many pineapple do you need in a month? So that's how you can do that. I believe the profs have given us enough. I believe we've had enough on how to develop, and sustain business in Akwa Ibom. I'm sure every other person has something to say. And I believe the prof have given us enough to think about. So go back home, talk to your friends, brainstorm ideas on how to make your business more sustainable. And if you have questions, the two profs, one from a private university, Reedman College, one from the great University of Uyo, the Dean of Business Administration. If you have questions, let them know. Prof, I hope you wouldn't mind getting their phone number. And what we'll do in the next program, we will bring someone from the Entrepreneur Center and from your center. Let people know that these resources are available so you can leverage. You are not alone. Akwa Ibom have the infrastructure, and the infrastructure doesn't have to be roads, doesn't have to be airports. These are solid business infrastructure that you can tap on. We don't want you to go and start entrepreneurial business. They're already there. Go and leverage it. That's how we are going to establish, that's how we are going to develop our businesses, and that's how we are going to sustain it. And someone here started thinking about succession plan, because I know that has been the biggest problem. I keep telling people about the Nyangetedu, Utuks, those are even ancient. There are other businesses today that are not surviving. So as you start the business, Prof, I'm learning that from you. Anytime someone wants to start business, how is it going to be sustained? If something happens to you, God forbid, but something happened to people, who takes over from you? Do you have a good friend? Do you have someone that is reliable? That's how we are going to make this state very great.
Do you want to see beyond your vision? Do you want to hear what other people think about leadership? Do you need a reshaping of your mindset and mentorship? Then tune in to the Podium of Leadership, The Pole with Victor Udo, showing on AKBC Channel 45 every Monday by 12:30 p.m. and on NTA Channel 12 Uyo every Thursday by 10 p.m. Tune to The Pole on Planet FM on Wednesdays by 3 p.m. and on AKBC Radio on Saturdays by 1:30 p.m. You can be a guest on this program. You can also advertise your products, goods and services, or sponsor the program by calling our office line 0902 300 7299. That is 0902 300 7299. Visit our website on www.thepole.com.ng. Like our page on facebook.com/The Podium of Leadership, or follow us on our Twitter handle at The Pole with Victor. The Podium of Leadership do show. Join us.
Once again, Prof. Upong and Prof. Umoren, I really appreciate you spending a good chunk of your time to help us discuss this issue. And like we said, this is a do show. Don't just hear it. Make sure you translate it into action. Take and make back to praxis, where you turn theory into practice. So, quite people listening to us on the radio or watching us on the TV, please, if you have more questions, there is a Center of Entrepreneurship at University of Uyo. There's a private sector, a school of Center for Business Knowledge, Business Studies. Let's leverage this so that we can make this great state even greater. Let us arise and build. Thank you very much, and God bless you. God bless you.